What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. This scenario is one I get asked about a lot, but it's just so outlandish that I didn't even think to do it. But, as you can tell, I've come to my senses and I realized, you know what, this would work as a what if mini. It's just so goofy. But you know what, it's good to have fun once in a while. So today we'll be covering a scenario where Goku gets God Ki early. And you may be wondering how. Would it even affect the story? Surprisingly, I did come up with a way to do this, and it does affect the story in a huge way. I'll only go through Dragon Ball Z, but if we hit 3,000 likes, I'll make a part for Super. I just want to gauge interest first. Anyways, let's begin. So the way he gets God Ki is actually pretty simple. It is a huge stretch though, but in terms of the what if, we're going to say that this is the source of it. For the sake of the scenario itself, let's just say that every god in Dragon Ball would have access to God Ki, even the lower level ones. Obviously I'm not saying that's the case, but just for this what if, let's roll with it. Really this could begin at the Buu saga, when Goku meets Shin and Kibito, or it could even begin in the Saiyan saga when he meets King Kai. If we use the logic of this what if where they would give Goku God Ki. But if you're gonna go with that, you could even go farther back. I'm talking about after King Piccolo. The source of his God Ki is Goku's training with Kami. Through some stroke of luck or plot convenience on my part, Goku inadvertently gets God Ki from Kami. Now he's not gonna go Super Saiyan God instantly, but of course having God Ki makes him way more powerful. How much stronger? Well, the 23rd World Tournament is pretty much a wash for him. I mean, besides Piccolo, it already was. But here, it's even easier. A lot of it does go the same because Goku was stronger before anyways in canon. But then, he reaches Piccolo. Piccolo does give a bit of a challenge, until Goku gets serious. This time around, he easily defeats Piccolo, and since that fight wasn't really anything amazing, he's fine with Kami sealing Piccolo. Piccolo is a pretty desperate and bad guy after all, and Goku was pretty underwhelmed with the fight. With how short it was, he didn't even think to see the other side of Piccolo, seeing if he could possibly turn good somehow. And thus, he gets sealed by Kami. Fast forward a few years, Goku has settled down with Chi-Chi, and they've had a kid, Gohan. Relatively normal so far. Goku is of course invited to a reunion at Kame House. And Raditz arrives on Earth. Krillin notes something. He just now realized that he could sense Goku when he's not fighting, but when Goku does fight, he can't feel Goku's ki at all. That's weird. Goku isn't sure why that is, and for that reason, Raditz can't sense him on the Scouter. The first power he actually picks out is Tenshinhan, so he goes to pay the three-eyed man a visit, and naturally he overpowers him, by a lot. But the two don't fight, he just wants to find Kakarot. The next highest power level is Krillin, so he departs to find that, with Tenshinhan and Chaozu following, wanting to see what's going on. Raditz arrives at Kame House and sees Kakarot. Perfect. The encounter starts pretty normal until Raditz decides to attack Goku. It's not like Goku completely tanks his attacks, he still feels it, but he's not knocked down in one hit. Raditz is surprised. But Goku's already pissed off. Raditz threatened his friends and his planet, so he retaliates. The two brothers are sent into the air, fighting, and Raditz is actually somewhat of a good match for him, but Raditz decides to play dirty, and below them, he launches a blast at Kame House. Goku immediately flies down and counters it, launching his own blast that's not only strong enough to destroy Raditz's blast, but also injure him greatly. With smoke coming off his destroyed armor, Raditz plummets to the ground. And in his dying breath, he warns Goku of the arriving Saiyans. Vegeta and Nappa will be here to avenge him and kill Kakarot. Well, if they're anything like Raditz, they shouldn't be an issue, but Raditz tells Goku they're much stronger than him, especially Vegeta. Raditz then dies, and Goku now has to plan his next move. Tenshinhan and Chaozu then arrive to the island, asking what happened. After they find out, they suggest that everyone trains together. These Saiyans may be an issue, they should even recruit Yamcha, if he's not too busy with baseball. You know, it's better safe than sorry. All of them head to train with Kami, but Goku mentions something. He can sense Gohan's ki and it seems somewhat strong, especially considering his age. But he asks if the others can sense it, and they can't for some reason. Weird, is this some genetic trait for the Saiyans? No, that can't be, they sensed Raditz before. Maybe Goku's just so strong that's why they can't sense him. Gohan too. Weird, they'll have to get to the bottom of this so they keep it in mind. And they decide to bring Gohan along because of this. By training with Kami, everyone then notices they can actually sense Goku and Gohan's ki now. They decide to ask Kami about it, and he has a theory. They only develop this ability when they train with him. Maybe, as a god, he's giving off some of his godly ki towards them, causing them to also get extremely powerful. And they do get very powerful, yes, even the humans. Goku already had God Ki, and Gohan got it just because he was born as Goku's kid. But through training, Krillin, Yamcha, Tenshinhan, and even Chaozu get God Ki. Hell, you know what? Yajirobe probably has it too. As Vegeta would call it, it's a God Ki bargain sale. And speaking of Vegeta, he and Nappa arrive on Earth, and the humans are actually strong enough to help fend them off due to their God Ki. Yamcha defeats the Cybermen. One tries to blow himself up, but Yamcha doesn't even feel it. He lives here. Krillin decides he wants to go up next, and tries to take on Nappa. and he actually seems like a decent enough match for him. In the meantime, Goku decides to face Vegeta. Nappa's defeated relatively easy, with Vegeta too busy fighting Goku. He and Nappa are eventually forced into Great Ape, but with Yajirobe and Krillin there, their tails get sliced off, reverting them back to their normal state. How are these Earthlings so powerful? Especially Kakarot, he's supposed to be a low-class warrior. Vegeta wants to know his secret, and thankfully, Goku spares him and Nappa. They're reminded of the true reason they came here to get Kakarot. Not only did they need help to destroy an extra planet, but they needed help to destroy Frieza. So they tell the Dragon Team about the Wicked Emperor, and although it is a shocking turn of events, they're now asking for help. Of course, the Dragon Team is hesitant to help train them, but their story seems pretty sound. This Frieza guy does sound terrifying, and given what little they know about him, it may be a good idea to team up and defeat him, in case he ever sets his sights on Earth. Vegeta and Nappa are allowed to stay on Earth for now, training with the rest of the group, and slowly but surely, they notice a great increase in strength, getting God Ki for themselves. They stick on Earth for about a year, with everyone training to get strong enough for this endeavor. They have a pretty solid group by now, and since I haven't really covered power levels here, let's talk about it in this saga. To sum it up, everyone's really strong. Goku remains as the strongest of the group, and God Ki is pretty overpowered. I don't have the slightest idea of what an actual power level would be here, but for the sake of the video, let's guesstimate and say he's around the 10 million range. Yeah, that's strong. God Ki is pretty broken in Super, so I'm assuming it would be pretty broken here too. Gohan, Vegeta, and Nappa would eventually get ahead of the humans, due to their natural potential as Saiyans. We'll place them around an 8 million range. Tenshinhan, Krillin, and Yamcha would fall behind because they don't have the power of Saiyans, but they'd still be decently strong at 4 million. And Chaozu and Yajirobe would probably stick around with their training here, weaker than the group at around 2 million. And this alone makes Vegeta confident enough that they could defeat Frieza, so they head off to Frieza Planet 79. Little does he know though, this still isn't enough. They're able to defeat the army pretty easily, and as for Frieza himself, he can't fend the group off at first, and eventually has to go into his final form, and this is where Vegeta realizes Frieza's true power far exceeds theirs. He has the upper hand right now, and he also has King Cold on the way. He's able to defeat the whole group, but he doesn't kill them, instead toying with them, deciding he's going to torture Vegeta first. Vegeta's getting angry, really angry. He begins fuming, literally. Even with all this, they still weren't able to defeat Frieza, and now they're gonna die by his hand. But Vegeta won't have it. Frieza aims a death beam at Vegeta's chest, but slowly, Vegeta stands up. Frieza chuckles, and then he launches the death beam, but Vegeta slaps it away. He begins glowing, his aura around him flaring up and turning golden. Frieza looks in terror as Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan, with a bellowing scream and an outburst of anger. Vegeta here would be more than enough to defeat Frieza. He easily toys with the Emperor, finally glad to get his revenge. Frieza goes full power, but it's still not enough, and with one Gallic gun, he kills Frieza. King Cold then arrives on the planet, but before his ship even lands, Vegeta blows it up, killing everyone on board including King Cold. Everyone looks in awe, as Vegeta laughs maniacally. He's become the Super Saiyan of legend. He helps everyone up, surprisingly lending a hand. This is the power he was seeking, and together, he'll help the other Saiyans access it too. Too bad for the humans. They head back to Earth, and Trunks eventually comes back to give Goku the heart virus medicine and warn everyone of the androids. Wait, so why wasn't Trunks enough to defeat the androids? Well, the reason for that is that Gero would have adjusted the androids to account for Goku's high power level here. Same for everyone else. In Trunks' timeline, everyone still did die from the androids. Even with their access to God Ki, when Gero was studying everyone, he accounted for those powers, making the androids far, far stronger in comparison. Future Goku died of the heart virus, and eventually, the androids slaughtered everyone else, leaving only Trunks and Gohan. AKA, the future timeline is pretty much the same. And considering the androids were able to find Kami's lookout before, they would still end up finding it here and probably killing Kami, which would explain why Trunks wouldn't even be able to use the Dragon Balls to revive everyone. And the Pilaf gang probably did get their wish to restore their youth. What a waste of a wish. Anywho, that means the first parts of the android arc go normal. Well, kinda. Goku succumbs to the heart virus pretty early on. With so much power surging through him and such high level training, the virus actually shows up months before the androids arrive, meaning Goku's cured in the time that 19 and 20 show up. But as for their encounter with these two, it goes pretty much the same, and they end up chasing Gero down to his lab, where the androids are activated, including Android 16. They're incredibly happy, Goku's right there, so they go to attack him and Goku can't actually fend them off. But combined, Tenshinhan, Krillin, and Goku all launch a solar flare, seeing it as their only means of escape, and because of their God Ki, and the fact that the androids besides 16 can't even sense Ki, they're able to escape pretty easily, and naturally, Goku decides the best course of action is to consult Kami. Kami says they have two options. One, the Room of Spirit and Time, which Goku used to train before as a kid, or they can go see his friend King Kai, getting some training from him. 1 year of training in a day. Alright, Vegeta's gonna bite. He's gonna drag Trunks and Nappa in there. That's how they'll get stronger. Goku and Gohan decide to do the same, but they're gonna have to wait for Vegeta to get out with his group. They want to train Super Saiyan, but as for the humans, they take Kami's advice and go to King Kai. And we now have a brief period of training, but while all this is going on, that means the androids are ripe for Cell to take. He's easily able to strike and absorb them, and naturally he overpowers pretty much everyone. He realizes this once Goku comes down to see what he just sensed, and Cell explains who he is and why he's here. But Goku tells him, if they fight right now, Cell will just be bored. He needs to give them some time to train. He promises Cell, in a few days, they'll be much stronger and give him a much better fight. And Cell takes the bait. Alright, if Goku says so, he'll give them a few days to train. Goku heads up back to the lookout and tells Gohan the news, and he telepathically tells all the humans. The thing is, for the humans, they're gonna need more than a few days with King Kai, but Goku tells them not to worry. They can stay there for as long as they need. He's confident that the 5 Saiyans will be enough. The 5 Saiyans eventually all finish their training, mastering Super Saiyan in the process. And Goku tells the group that he came up with a theory. He's had ki lent to him before, or has lent ki to other people, and knows it can greatly empower them. He senses Cell's ki right now, and even with their mastered Super Saiyan, he feels like he won't be enough to defeat Cell. And time's ticking. They'll either have to go back in the room of spirit and time, or just take a shot against Cell. But before they decide to go back in the room, Goku tells everyone to lend him their ki. He could feel God ki coursing through his veins, but he could tell his body could handle more. It's better to test this before they go up against Cell, just to make sure this idea works. If they overload Goku with ki, he may be able to defeat the android somehow. Too bad the humans aren't here to lend energy. Their God ki would be really helpful, but Goku does know someone who may have God ki. He needs to get every bit of energy he possibly can, so that's why he's skimping here. That person that he thinks of is Chi-Chi. With how much he's been around Goku, and for other reasons, there's a good chance he somehow got God ki from Goku. She hasn't fought in such a long time, and thinks they're asking her to fight, but they're not. Goku just wants to fill his body with as much God ki as possible, and wants them to test something. He really doesn't want to go back in the room of spirit and time, and he hopes this is able to power him up enough to face Cell, even if it's only temporary. Goku never ceases to amaze Kami. This is a pretty smart idea from his student, and he could tell, yes, Chi-Chi does have this ki within her, and he also senses something else, something that even she doesn't know about. There's a kid, but he keeps this to himself for now, and in an effort to help, everyone gathers around Goku in a circle. They all lend their ki, with Kami aiding Chi-Chi in doing that, and Goku then gets a surprised look on his face. It's actually working, but way more than he expected. On King Kai's planet, everyone senses this, a massive surge of God ki. Cell, who also has God ki in his DNA, senses this as well. Is that Goku? As everyone lends their energy, Goku then suddenly ascends into the sky, and everyone stops out of fear. What did they just do? Did they overload him with energy? Is he dead? He's just floating there, glowing. But they then see Goku slowly descends back down. Goku notices that he definitely feels stronger, but asks everyone else, did it work? They all look at him with their mouths agape. It definitely did work, and Goku asks why everyone's looking at him weird. He looks and notices that he's noticeably skinnier, and his aura has turned into red flames rather than golden. Kami's amazed, and tells Goku to look at himself. Goku turns around, looking at one of the windows in his home, and he gasps as he sees. His reflection is so different. His hair looks the same as normal, except it's red, as are his eyes. He's noticeably skinnier too. Inadvertently, by trying to overload Goku with ki, they perform this Super Saiyan God ritual. It's a good thing they got Chi-Chi involved. They didn't even know what they were doing, but she had the extra Saiyan that they needed, with Goten recently being conceived. They then hear someone outside, and they all run out to see Cell. Cell is just amazed. What is this form Goku's using? His ki is unlike anything else. Is this what Goku was referring to? He's actually a little scared. There's no way he's going to defeat Goku as he is now. If anything, he's more so intrigued. Goku's on high guard. Cell is at his house, and he assumes Cell wants to fight right now, so he gets ready. But Cell tells Goku to stop. He feels something weird within him, a desire he's felt before, but not one that he's felt really strongly. His Saiyan blood is flaring up. As I mentioned before, Cell did have God ki within him, because his genetic makeup is different, and his genetic makeup is very different. Jiro most likely collected samples from Piccolo during the 23rd World Tournament, so Piccolo is still there. The humans and the Saiyans are there as well, but there's one huge difference. There's no Frieza or King Cold in him. None of their personalities or powers being studied to influence Cell. His blood is mostly Saiyan. And as crazy as it sounds, I feel this could realistically be a turning point for Cell. Sure, he's influenced by Jiro still, but more so, he's intrigued by power here and his Saiyan DNA. He has a desire for what Goku has, and he knows it won't be easy to get. No, I'm not saying this means he turns good here. He's still evil for sure, but he's not insanely evil here, not like his original self. Through his subtle mannerisms in the original series, it can be inferred that Cell's DNA did encourage his personality. And here, the only bad DNA he has is Piccolo. And it's huge that he doesn't have Frieza or Cold because that's not overpowering him. And of course, he still does have Jiro's programming. But if 17 and 18 can slowly overcome that, Cell probably could too, especially given his intelligence and independence. Plus, it's a fun concept here. And similar to how Vegeta and Nappa asked before, Cell asked for Goku to teach him this power. He'll give up his ways. He doesn't care. He just wants to be on this level somehow. He does want a good fight after all. Of course, they're a little bit wary when it comes to trusting him. They're not just gonna hand him this power, they'll just keep him around for now, just to see if he's legit about it. This is a huge turn of events, and Goku says it's fine. If Cell does end up lashing out, he could easily kill the android. With all of this now, Trunks heads back to his timeline, concerned about Cell now in this present timeline, but easily able to kill the androids in his timeline. Of course, Trunks was born in the past too, and Goten is eventually. Cell is still sticking around and he's warming up to everyone, with everyone warming up to him, even though it was a little bit odd at first. He has no desire to be a hero, but he's coming to his senses and realizing he has no real reason to be a villain either. Jiro's programming? Psh, he's better than Jiro. If he really wants to get stronger and achieve true perfection, he wants to go the way that Goku does. And after a long while, the humans eventually return to Earth, now with some new techniques from King Kai, specifically Kaioken. They're scared to see Cell still here, since they sensed him while they were coming back to Earth, but they're assured that everything's okay and everything's explained. By this point, Cell even got the Dragon Balls and asked Shenron to revive everyone he's killed. And Shenron wasn't able to revive everyone, but at least those in the past year that Cell killed, he was able to do that. And since the androids aren't technically dead, they aren't revived, since they're in Cell still. Poor Krillin, that means he's gonna be single for now. Or maybe not. Anywho, everyone keeps up with their training, and we eventually arrive to the Buu saga. A huge chunk of the tournament is taken up by the Dragon team. And Cell, I wouldn't really consider him a true member because he's not technically good, he's more so neutral. It's probably worth mentioning that everyone would have Super Saiyan God right now. I mean, why wouldn't they? They'd be kinda stupid to pass it up, especially with how easy it is to get, or they could just inadvertently access it through training. But what about for Cell? I'll keep him as is for now, but if we do end up continuing the scenario, feel free to suggest anything below. Obviously not Golden Cell or anything like that. But if you think he should have his own form, or maybe just his eyes change and he gets the aura, I want to see what you guys think is best. I like hearing your guys' ideas, so let me know below. Oh yeah, and I guess that would mean even Goten and Trunks probably have Super Saiyan God. Again, I'll have to bring up the Vegeta quote. It's a Super Saiyan bargain sale, or I guess a Super Saiyan God bargain sale this time around. Everyone has red auras, even the humans with their Kaioken. Spopovich and Yamu are extremely happy. There's a bunch of strong people to take energy from. Cell ends up facing Shin, and Cell doesn't back down. And here is when Yamu tries to intervene and steal energy. Cell's distracted by this, and Shin tries to paralyze him so Yamu could steal the energy, but Cell easily breaks free of the paralysis, far stronger than Shin. He breaks Yamu's energy collection device, and the two Majins retreat. Damn, their plan's been ruined. Shin and Kibito quickly have to tell everyone who they are, and tell them there's not much time to explain. They're not sure if they should believe these people, but Kami telepathically comes in and confirms. As does King Kai. They're watching the situation and want to help. So, everyone follows Shin and Kibito. They arrive at Babidi's ship, and the thing is here, they're heavily disadvantaged. Unlike someone like Cell, these people still have the same power. Everyone's really hungry for a fight. Goku wants to do it, Vegeta wants to do it, Nappa wants to do it. Cell, Gohan want to do it. Deborah watches in confusion as there's a tournament of rock, paper, scissors. The eventual victor is Cell. Thank Kami he's part machine. He analyzed everyone's rock, paper, scissors tactics. Take that. He expects a good fight, but really, Deborah is pretty much nothing to him. And Shin and Kibito remind him not to give too much energy. Oh, alright. Cell launches one blast, as Shin and Kibito watch with their mouths agape. In a single attack, he incinerates Deborah and Babidi's ship, leaving only Buu's egg behind. And from that single attack alone, Buu nearly got enough energy to revive him, but still not enough. That was surprisingly easy. Shin and Kibito take Buu's egg, and Cell tells them to save it, and the Saiyans all agree. You know, if they wanted a cool fight later, maybe they could revive Buu themselves. Shin doesn't even know how to respond to that. These guys must be crazy. But whatever. He says goodbye as they teleport back to the world of Kai's. But this isn't the end. For a while, someone else has been closely monitoring Earth, especially after a certain discovery during the Cell saga. On the opposite end of the universe, an angel watches everything. It's Whis. He's been paying close attention to Earth for a while. Lord Beerus may be interested once he wakes up. He keeps this in mind, and we'll leave off here for now. So what did you think about this scenario? And what do you think may happen next? Will any of the Saiyans, humans, or even Cell go above where they are right now? Are there any new forms on the horizon, or any new fighters that are about to join? And also, were the Saiyans actually serious when they said they wanted to see Majin Buu sometime? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.